What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Live here on the LTL Media channel. And we're going to talk, obviously, the Karen Read case tonight. We're about 3 weeks in the trial, and we are getting ready for the showdown. And I kind of say this is like, what the hell is it? Like when the Cowboys out used to go out and like get their guns ready and have a draw. I forget what they call it. I don't know. Maybe someone could correct me here. But we're getting ready for Jennifer McCabe and Alan Jackson on Tuesday. That I believe is going to probably be some of the most compelling testimony here that we've seen so far. And there's been a lot of it. Believe me, there has been a lot of it. Matt McCabe the other day, super, super compelling, but I don't think that's going to even compare to what's going to happen on Tuesday. And of course, I feel like I'm kind of reuniting with an old buddy. We used to do these Sunday shows together, and it's going to be really nice to have Tom back on the show. I'm just going to let everybody know he's not in studio with us tonight, but Tom and I are going to line something up. He'll be able to come in and sit in, but I'm not going to wait too much longer. Let's bring Tom in here and have just a nice laid back, casual show and kind of shoot the shit about this. Tommy, what's up, buddy?
How's everything going, everybody?
How are you, man?
Got a day to relax. Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. Well, we need to talk a little Karen Read here tonight. And I want to let everybody know before we do kick off, 25% of all incoming donations that come in tonight will be kicked back to Karen Read's defense fund. And what I've been doing is posting the receipts up on my Facebook page and my YouTube community page. And to fully vet everything and have complete transparency, you can go right to the defense website just after, and you'll see LTL Media Chat Raiser. We give the total at the end of the stream, and then I post it up there. And so far, in 14 days, Tom, 14 days.
I've been seeing every day your posts are up there.
$700 has been kicked back to Karen Read.
I see him all the time.
So I appreciate everybody. I super, super appreciate it. All right, let me just pull these up real quick, and then I want to get into the heart of the show here. Ellen, thank you for becoming a member for 11 months. Yes, we just hit 20,000 subscribers today on the channel. Thank you so much. It feels like a milestone that I've been kind of like pulling myself to. I'm like, let's get to that magic number, and we hit 20,000 subscribers today. So thank you. The channel's on rocket fuel. I can't wait. And to keep pushing this on. So thank you for being a member, and let's kick this off too. Ruby C, thank you so much. Congrats on 20K subs. Free Karen Read. If one of my mods can just keep the running total in the chat tonight, that would be great. And as maybe Cash Apps and Venmos come in, I'll just call them out. We'll keep the running total going. Thank you, Massica. Thank you so much. So Tom, let's talk Karen Read. Let's do this first. Let's have, just for new subscribers out there that might be new to this channel, I've had a bunch of them come in over the last couple of weeks, and maybe people that don't know who you are. Why don't you tell them who you are, let them know about your YouTube channel and what you do to help in the Free Karen Read movement?
That's kind of,
it was a loaded question, right?
Yeah. Well, one thing at a time. Like, okay. What was, you asked one question.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? Right? I'm retired. I don't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. What, Karen Read? I first heard about it when Aiden broke the story, and I couldn't believe it. And after that, I knew enough about Aiden, about what he reported before in the past, to know that this was legit. I didn't even have to question him. And then I was all in day one. And from that day until now, actually, I've tried every way possible to try and figure out a way that it possibly could have happened. And I can't, except for a certain way that, you know.
What motivated you to be kind of that boots on the ground guy, to start these lives that you have, sometimes you have over like 5,000, 7,000 people watching? What really motivated you to do that, and what keeps you motivated?
It's I was there one day and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just go live, because I was fishing the weekend before and I was recording the fish that I was catching. So instead of doing that, I just hit the live button, and people showed up, and they came in and they started chatting in the chat and asking questions. And And at the beginning, it was a smaller group, um, and we really dug in on it, and everyone dug in on it. And this is my boy Scott McGinnis right
Yeah, Scott's great.
so that's kinda how it started with everybody. Everyone
Mhm,
kinda was behind me. So whenever I'd go to a court date, I'd just hit live and people would show up.
mhm.
And sometimes I've had 10,000 people on
Yeah.
my stream. I couldn't handle it. Like, wow, I'm blown away at the amount of people that come up to me and tell me that they watch me. Um, one lady was in the hospital and she said that her whole recovery, that it's a good thing I was on because it gave her something to do and she looked forward to it. And it made her recovery just that much easier. I
Mhm,
mean, that's priceless. Things like that. And people tell me I'm driving down the street and people pull the cars over, jump out, come on, give me a hug. I mean, things like that. People, Scott McGinnis people, um, you know, the Erica, Allison, Chrissy's, the people,
mhm.
all the people in the chat. That's why I do it. Honestly, that I do it for them because sometimes they can't be there, but I
Yeah.
know they want to be. So the next best thing I can do is just stick my camera up and say, "Let's go," and that's where that's where we're at. That's where the audience has led me. Not unfortunately, but I'm just carrying the torch. They're the one telling me which way to go.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, this case has encompassed people from all around the world. I mean, it's worldwide now. I mean, it was just such a, when I first started doing my lives on it about, oof, oh gosh, way back in August, probably September, I think was my first one of last year. And, following it and, hearing about the case when it kind of first broke, I heard about it in the local news. And then we started doing the lives, and then, I probably got 4 or 5 lives in, and then the algorithm started spitting Aiden stuff up to me, and I
Mhm,
went, "Wait a minute, I know who Turtle Boy is." And I started looking and really peeling back, and I knew the first time, I think on my first or second live, we read through the affidavit, and I went, "Wait a minute, something doesn't add up here."
mhm.
And then, like I said, the algorithm started kicking, Aiden stuff up, and I started watching the backup video and then, his framed video. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And I was like, I got to have him on. And then I reached out and he was like, yeah, I'd be happy to come on, and just really got us educated because I was only like 5 or 6 lives in at that point. Everything was still new and kind of spinning in my head. And then to hear the way that he meticulously broke all the fine details down in the story. And it's like, now we're seeing it in front of our eyes, and guess what? Everything that he has said, guess what? Has been true.
Brian, this thing at the beginning, this has gone around the freaking
Yeah.
world.
Mhm.
I don't think I've seen China, but I mean,
Haven't seen China.
I've seen a lot of places come up that I would never even think twice of. And that's you look at a map and say, "Oh my god."
Mhm.
So to see the depth and how far we have the reach, we also have to take that into consideration too, that, you know, it's not just us here in Massachusetts and, in the small town of Dedham.
Mhm.
It's the entire world that can't be there.
Yeah.
That some people are following this and they get it and they can't be here. So this is
Yeah.
what they have. So we have to do our best to give them what we can. That's our responsibility, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
absolutely. Let me just get to a couple of these super chats. So, Massica, thank you so much. Longtime friend, great supporter of the channel, businessman, runs 2 retro gaming stores. I don't know how the hell he does it. He's got one in Taunton and one in Plymouth. Check him out. Bowser's
wait.
Basement. Go ahead.
Retro gaming stores. We're not talking Atari 2600 stuff, right?
No, it's all like the old gray box, gray car NES and Sega Genesis, and
Yeah.
he's got everything there. But check him out, Bowser's
Where?
Basement.
Where is he?
He's
Taunton?
in Taunton and Plymouth, and you can check him out on Facebook at Bowser's Basement. But I just want to read this super chat. And he's a musician, he's a rapper, so he's got great music. I love his music.
Nice.
He says, I meant to give you 20K for 20K, and I'll get you the other $19,980 at a later date. Thank you so much, Masker. I appreciate that, bro. I really do. And then Amy in Boston with a $2. She says, Tom's the ambassador of Karen Reed movement. Amy, that's super, super sweet. He is. He's one of the ones out there, and he's always there. He never misses a court date. He's always there. Robin, thank you so much for becoming a new YouTube member. I appreciate that and supporting the channel. Yeah, and talking about this movement, Tom, I mean, we have people from all over the world that has joined in. And, like you said, they might not get this, it was someone in the chat the other day from Canada. They said they don't really get true crime stories up there, and they don't play a lot of this stuff on TV. So they have to come to the American TV or the American streams or the local streams here, because we're all local. Tom and I are local. If people don't know, we're here. We have the ability to be at that courthouse in 30 minutes, some little less. I can be there in 20 on a good day. But, we're all the local people down here. So we have that capability to go down. We could be there in the morning, come back, stream the trial, or do these types of live. So, people around the world, they look for us because we're here. And that's what brings us to stream. But it was funny. I've had Toronto, Canada. I've had Finland. I've had Norway, Japan. It's
I'm
insane.
shocked. I'm shocked at how far this goes. And that in our chat, they're talking to us, Brian. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's in itself. Put that to words.
Yeah, Dennis, thank you so much for the $20. Says for the 20,000 subs, congratulations and thank you. Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate the support. And 25% of your donation tonight will get kicked back to Karen Reed's defense fund. And then Amanda checking in with a $10. She says, thank you, Brian, for all that you do. Congratulations on your new studio. Tom, thank you for all that you do. You're amazing. You deserve the world. And free Karen Reed, justice for John. And listen, I don't want to leave out anybody else, because there has been, I call them kind of the core handful of creators that have really grabbed this case, dug in, and done their part as well. And of course, we got the king on top, and we know who that is. That's Aiden Turtleboy Carney. And then there's so many other people that have done so much, and they're all close and doing their part. The Glare, the Young Jerks, Melanie Little. I don't know. Help me out, Tom.
We could spend 20 minutes going over stuff. I mean, the DUI guy. I mean, it just goes on and on. Think of that now for a second. Think of the quality now for a second of people that we have access to, right? We have access to Melanie, right? We have access to Brandy,
right?
Access to Will. I mean, we have access to Aiden. We have access to all these players.
And Maz Media too has been
Maz Media's here, putting it all together on Twitter at the same time, right? So
Olivia, I'm just trying to think
without her data, how do we not?
Yeah.
Again, you can't really put it together without mentioning every single person. And it truth and transparency.
Yeah.
Like, how do you everybody? It's everybody. And I kind of feel like Karen has all these people on her side. Everybody on her side. Like at the drop of a dime, they're doing research. They're getting pitches.
Microdots. Yes.
Microdots of all people. How can you, So it's not. But again, that's not fair, because we can't name all you wonderful people.
So many people.
We just can't.
Yeah. There's so many people, and that's. What I've always kind of tried to do on my channel is kind of bring the community together and kind of sponsor those channels and put them out there. I've always been that type of person, because I always feel like if you work together as a community, so many other things and so many better things get done. Sharing information is always a good thing amongst yourself and in a group, because you have like-minded people. You have like-minded people working together. Jess Machado from the Fall River Reporter.
So again, how do you can't
Ted Daniel from Boston 25.
Yeah.
There's just so many people that come to mind. Paul Cristoforo, Scott McGinnis that's in the chat. Resistance to Silence channel. There's
so many again. So it's not fair, because we're always going to leave somebody out.
Yeah. And I don't mean to. It's
just it's not. You can't, because there's.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a good problem to have, isn't it?
So I saw an interesting question here in the chat earlier, and maybe you and I can talk about this a little bit. It was someone in the chat before the show started, and they said, why do I feel like the witnesses are on trial? And my simple answer to this, and I'd love to hear your answer, is I said, well, the issue or why the witnesses seem on trial is because the Commonwealth hasn't brought any evidence forward that 100% says that Karen Reed did this. I mean, she's innocent. They have no case. And what happens is when you have a group of people that have gotten together and they're fully on the stand in front of the world, the lies can't keep adding up, because what happens is you have and this is just my opinion, you have the truth inside your head and you're trying to continue to spin this yarn of lies to try to cover everything. And after a while, you can't keep that lie straight. So then you forget, what did I say and what did I do? And then the truth starts coming out. Let's hear your take on it, Tom. Why do some people think that they feel like the witnesses are on trial?
Because they are. Final answer.
How did I know you were going to say that?
We've seen more evidence of nefarious behavior, right, from every single person that's been on that stand. I'll exempt maybe 3 people out of that. Okay.
Yeah.
The Nagel truck. We'll get them. We'll throw them out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about what they said. We're talking about the meaning and the depth and the belief, how much they believe. I don't see how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. There's more. I don't want to say there's more evidence to prove he was in the house, but there's more evidence to prove he was in the house. And if he was in the house, Karen didn't do it. And why is she sitting in that freaking room?
Tom, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
It's ridiculous. Why are we here 3 weeks in? Tell me what proves or even shows Karen in a nefarious way in any way towards him. You can't. Nobody. 3 weeks they haven't done it.
Do you know how this case could have been if they wanted to nail Karen Reed down to this and say Karen Reed absolutely do this and we have the proof? You know how it could have been settled? Day one, video, first thing, here you go. You know why they can't do that? Because 1, never happened, and 2, they ain't got a video like that because it never happened. What do you got, Tom?
You know how much video that they have access to? I'm not saying that they have it. I'm just saying what they have access to. They walk into any establishment with a badge and say, I need the last 24 hours of your footage. Sure, would you like it on my file? Here, they'll even give you the flash drive for free. Because I've done it many times. I have cameras recording out of my shop window at the intersection. How many times there's an accident? Hey, can we get your blah, blah, blah? Yeah, here.
Got it right here. Yeah, I mean, and if people think like they're waiting that they're going to pull this video, they would have pulled it by now. Believe me, if there was a video of Karen running John over, it would have already been played.
All right, let's stop here.
Yeah.
By the law, the prosecution has to turn over all evidence used to prosecute the defendant. So if that video file of her driving in reverse at all is in evidence, they have to give it to the defense. And I haven't seen it come up in any records. I mean, there's stuff that we haven't seen. Don't forget, it's all marked out. So we got to asterisk that. But you would think video is it, right? That proves
that would be right. I think
the video I saw proves Karen and John were in love, and that these 2 other yum-yums were fighting in the bar. That's what I saw in the video. That's the only video I've seen so far.
Or how about this? When Jen McCabe testified the other day on direct and said, oh, well, we went to John's house, we got out, and when we got out of the car, out of Karen's SUV, I was driving. Karen went around to the side of the SUV and pointed, hey, look, there's my taillight. It's broken. And we looked at it, and we could see the broken pieces out of the taillight. What happened when fucking Lally excuse me, I swore. I'm trying to keep it family friendly tonight, but what happened when Lally played the video and showed what happened? They pulled up in John's driveway. Jen gets out, Karen goes around to the side, and they run inside John's house. So guess what, Tom? That conversation never happened. And the funny thing about it, he even burned himself even deeper because he allowed the video to kind of play maybe about 30 seconds to 45 seconds longer. And I'm thinking to myself, when are they going to come back out and supposedly have this conversation out near? It never happened. So Jen McCabe already lied.
I'm willing to bet none of her conversations happened.
No.
Remove what she says from this whole thing. I've said this. We all said this months ago. Remove what Jen McCabe said from anything, and what do you have?
Yeah.
you have someone that looks like he got beat up by Mike Tyson.
Because that's
He
what
said it
happened.
on the courthouse steps.
Because that's what happened.
It's not rocket science, bud. Trust me.
And then some other ones that stuck out to me, and I just want to get to the Sunny Day. Thank you so much for the $19.99. 25% of your donation will get kicked back to Karen Reed. I think we're at about $92 total, so 25% of that will get kicked back. Here's another one. What was I going to say? So you're at a scene where there's a police officer or two police officers at that point, and you have three frantic females outside. You have a person on the lawn that could be dead or dying, and that police officer is going to look at you and say, "Go wake up the people inside the house," and they're going to allow you to walk away from the scene and go inside the house and supposedly wake up the people upstairs. And then when those people come down with the person that went in, magically there's a police officer that's just waiting inside the mudroom of their house.
Brian.
That would never happen, Tom, because I watch hours and hours of body cam footage because I'm addicted to it, right?
Yeah.
What is the first thing that happens when there's a major crisis situation going on and that officer has their body cam on and there's multiple people and maybe a few people start walking away? What do they say to him?
No. Nobody walks
Man,
away.
where you going?
You over there.
Over
you
there.
here.
You. Right.
There's you. If you're at a scene, okay, if you witness anything before the cops get there, okay, before the police officers show up on scene, if you witness anything, you are not allowed to leave that scene in any way. They're not sending you into the house to wake up. Why would they do that? That's the most ridiculous thing in the freaking world. That person doesn't leave the scene unless, of course, you know, that in itself, you do not leave the scene.
Right. And then it makes it even, and I can't wait till Alan Jackson asks him, like, "What are you doing? Where did you go?"
So even better yet, what's Canton Police doing with the leaf blower? who shows up to a scene with a leaf blower?
Yeah,
I got this one, guys. Don't worry. Watch this. No. They know enough, right, that they don't investigate anything.
Well, that's to blow away the real evidence. That's why. That's what they wanted.
So they went there and they knew that they don't investigate, but yet they went and they did their quote investigation. And look what happened. You get solo cups and a leaf blower under a window of a guy that's sleeping.
That's the crime scene collection. The solo cups and a leaf blower.
So
and Stop and Shop paper bags. We forgot that, Tom.
So let's back up a little bit, okay? And people forget this. They talk about John's injuries, right, to his face. You got to realize he had a boxer fracture. You know what a boxer fracture is? Right, it brings you. You know, you're done. You see it right here, right away. So if you see somebody with like a bloody nose, black and blue eyes, in a boxer fracture, he went down fighting. He was fighting. That boy was swinging for all he had. That's how you break your hand.
Or here's one. So Matt McCabe says, you know, he's the lookout. He's the one that's looking out the window. He's looking at everything. He's seeing everything. So and this is the black blob theory, okay, that Julie Nagel brought up. That didn't even. I'm sorry. I'm getting names mixed up here. In the car. What's her name? Yeah, Julie Nagel.
Nagel.
Yeah, says the black blob, but doesn't tell anybody. And then Matt says, "Well, I can see the tire track. I looked." He goes, "I looked over the lawn. I was looking past the lawn, but I could see these crisscross pattern tire tracks in the snow. So you can see that, but you couldn't see potentially this black blob that's on the ground that would be literally in your line of sight. That doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense."
How do you even come up with that, Brian? How does that come to be?
Because it's a lie. It's a fantasist lie. That's how it becomes, Tom.
And again, right? We're not the lawyers, right? But when we listen to what the lawyers say, they all validate what we're all been saying is this is not right. So what do we have for options, okay? we don't really have any. We have to play by their rules. They have the guns and the badges. Like like Aiden says, they're the ones with they have the guns. They rule the road. Their rules. Buffer zone 250, we move 250. They say 500, we go 500. We don't have an option. So within the rules that they set, we have to be respectful. So what we can do is we can stand out and let Karen know that she's not doing this by herself, and that no matter what, there's people that know and believe exactly what she believes, which it happens to be the truth. This isn't like a guessing game, or because they're saying that she did it, I'm going to pick the opposite side. This has got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with what's been presented in front of me, in my eyes, in my brain, and what I think and what I believe in my heart. She's factually innocent. They're setting her up.
I mean, it's coming clearer and clearer. I mean, it's the title of this is the Commonwealth's witnesses are a dumpster fire. I mean, that's literally what it's been. It's gotten worse for them. It hasn't gotten better.
Listen, I mean, you know what a dumpster fire is? You ready?
Yeah.
What if you went into Boston and you riled up all the racial stuff in there, right? And you brought that to Dedham, and you brought all that stuff there, and we started. I'm sorry, not we, but so what happened? They started turning cars over, looting the center of town, breaking windows, stopping traffic, burning. I mean, come on. You want mayhem and chaos? Them people are more than welcome to come to Dedham. Or we just have a peaceful protest with signs and in lawn chairs and we could have a cookout. That's the tack that we take.
Right.
And people see that. And the whole world sees that, and it's coming from Boston. So
yeah, there was a
pretty historic type of a thing too,
There was a tweet that came out by John Petit, what's his name? John Petro today. He's a radio personality. He does a lot of political commentary. And I saw Aiden tweet this out. He's saying that Free Karen Read supporters are following jurors home and harassing them. That is a complete false, and it's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
How can that even happen?
That has never happened.
No, it can't.
If that even happened, you would see it in they would be all over that in the mainstream media. There would be reports of it. That guy's a fucking liar.
It physically can't not happen.
No, he's saying that
I know as a fact it cannot happen.
Right, but Tom, if that even happened, let's say if it even happened, you know how quick that would be reported on? That would be.
Listen, maybe he's just looking again. Maybe he's looking because we're not doing that. He's going to take the opposite tack and say that we are. Because there are people that are like that, and he may be one of them. I don't even know who he is, but again, Brian, there's always going to be people out there, and they're going to hate you just because you're opposite of them. That's it. No other reason, right?
Let me find that tweet. Hang on. I want to find that tweet because Aiden had a lot to say about it.
It's funny. It's been 3 weeks and there hasn't been a single incident regarding us.
Yeah,
not one. There's one. They were playing musical chairs over there the other day. That's it.
Let me see if I can find it. Hang on.
And while you're looking for that, everyone in the chat, we all love you guys. You guys are the reason we do this. So thank you, everyone who's here. It's really nice to see everyone. If you have a question, feel free to pop it in the chat. If I see it, I'll try and answer it.
Let me see. And a great way to dead air. It's always good for the chat. It's good for the program.
I'm trying
to find the tweet because I was really pissed about it. I'm like, there's no way that happened.
Listen,
it hasn't happened.
Look at Coffin Dapper if you want to get mad. I mean, it's the same thing, dude. I don't even bother. It's not worth my time to even read that. I'd rather read something from the Karen Read site and learn something that, that lady Denise standing on the Mass Pike by herself. I mean, come on. That melts my absolute heart. That is
what happened. Oh yeah, yes.
She's the only one, but she's all by herself on the Mass Pike, and we finally got her a big Free Karen Read banner, and she loves it. So good for her.
I don't want to that. Yeah, I can't find the tweet, but it is out there.
That never happened. Just so
I might have shared it actually. Hang on, it's probably on my page. I think I shared.
But you know what? Listen, you guys know what has happened. I'm sorry. There's been. I think there's 2 incidents. There's been 2 incidents. What happens is the news reporters, right? they have this camera on their shoulders and they're walking backwards, and there's a pole behind them, and they don't see the pole, but they're walking back. And Karen, when she gets out of court, she's walking. She is on her way on a mission. Don't get in front of her. She'll walk around you. But these guys are walking backwards pretty fast, and there's a pole. Bam! They get their bell rung, man. You actually hear boing right from the metal pole. Oh, it stops them dead. And the troopers all kind of laugh at them.
So what do you think happens Tuesday? Alan Jackson, Jen McCabe. What do they call that? Remember, like in the old Western times, they would go out. What the hell was that?
Yeah. They had a duel.
A duel. Thank you.
Yeah. That's what they did. They've been back to back, 10 paces, turn and fire.
Right.
That never happened, but that was what it ended up being. Yeah.
What a showdown or a duel. Yeah. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think is some of the questions that Alan Jackson's going to ask Jennifer McCabe? I have some. Maybe the audience can participate here. Go ahead.
I personally have a lot I'd love to ask her. However,
all right, how about this? Let's go back and forth here a little bit. You say one and I'll say one and see if we can exhaust ourselves here.
I'm not doing it.
Come on.
Nope.
I think Hoslong to dying cold. That'll be one.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, dude, right? We know that's gonna come up, right? We know that because we know Alan Jackson found it. Alan Jackson found not just that, but what led up to it, because there were other searches also. Don't forget. So I believe he knows enough about the phone and how the phone operates itself with its data. I'm confident in that. I don't want to say something here on this microphone that would help Jen McCabe in any freaking way.
Well,
I'm not even giving her a hint of anything that I'm thinking, except I hope you don't sleep tonight, and I hope you don't sleep tomorrow night. Now
Tom, you heard the rumor, right? They were all out together, but they don't talk about the case, Tom.
Dude,
the rumor is they were all
engaged.
The rumor was they were all out at a bar.
Dude, they got engaged.
Yeah, but they don't talk about the case. And guess what? Colin Albert doesn't have social media, but the engagement photos were posted Colin Albert's Instagram, but yet has been deleted and taken down once it got called out.
I have the perfect gift for them when they get married.
Let's see.
I want to go to the.
Anna says 30% chance.
I'm a +1. Give me a +1 to that invite. I want to go.
Vanna says 30% chance Jen doesn't show up on Tuesday. She gives 0 fucks because she knows there will be no repercussions from that. No, you will get.
No, she'll be there.
You'll be thrown in jail if you don't. They will drag her there.
No, that would make Auntie Bev look really bad, and that's definitely not what you want to do.
Right.
Especially with, actually, that would be good.
Well, it would be good.
That'd be great. Imagine that turn of the case. But yeah, so no, Brian, I'd love to do the question thing, but again, I've been thinking, like Alan Jackson said the other day when Chrissy asked him, he's looked at Chrissy and said, "I've been waiting 2 years." Did you want this guy who's after you waiting 2 years to just be thinking about you 24 hours a day? That guy?
Well, you saw him looking at her the other day. I mean, he's got his eyes.
Look at Paul than him.
He's gonna shred her.
Yep. So honestly, we can talk about something else, but I don't want to in any way let her even remotely think anything that I'm thinking that he could possibly ask her, because if it helps her in any way, no. Sorry, guys.
Well, let's do this. Let's play this little 2-minute and 40-second video and show everybody what Alan Jackson was like. And a lot of people don't understand this. He was a prosecutor at some point. This is this little sizzle reel for Alan Jackson. Let's check this out.
He's one of LA's most highly regarded prosecutors. Alan Jackson
has
won convictions in some of LA's most
not that he doesn't
high-profile cases.
Still a young man.
Go back for a second. Yeah. Look at the people look at the people he represented already. That guy with that guy.
No, he put him in jail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are all the people these are all famous people he's already went up against. Yeah. Those are powerful people, Brian. That guy with the hair.
Phil Spector. You don't mess with this. He discovered Tina Turner.
You don't mess with that guy. He took him down.
Yeah.
Hoo-hoo.
Jackson has won convictions in some of LA's most high-profile cases. A very, very talented prosecutor. But it's more than being effective in the courtroom.
I ran across this letter on my computer, and it's hard for me to talk about it.
I remember this.
The first
Yep.
Christmas after the killer of Mickey and Trudy
I
was
remember
convicted,
Yep.
I wrote a letter to Alan Jackson. And I said in the letter, Alan, no, Mickey and Trudy aren't back here for Christmas. Our family isn't whole. But I got to tell you, your effort, your work, your commitment to get the killer of our family is making Christmas easier to endure.
A prosecutor who cares deeply about victims and their families.
When someone is victimized, especially when it comes to violent crime, that victimization extends to their family.
You know who Mickey Thompson is, right?
Yeah, I'm a gearhead.
Okay. Yeah, the tires. Mickey.
I
Mickey
just bought
Thompson.
a car today.
You did?
Yeah.
Right. Right on.
Pretty
What
cool.
the hell did you get?
Play this. I'll play mine
All
after
right.
you play yours.
All right.
family's
Right
family, friends of the family, and to the community at large. That's what we're here to protect.
I think this was a
But it's
campaign
even
video.
more. Alan Jackson is a leader among his peers, bringing an innovative approach to fighting crime.
7 out of 10 of the state prisoners that come back into the community, 7 out of 10 of them are likely to reoffend. One thing we can do is clean up and fix the probation system if we send a message that there are clear and concise consequences for a probation violation. That's one way to stop it before it starts.
And Alan Jackson is leading the fight to keep kids out of crime in the first place.
We don't have to handcuff our way out of the crime problem. We can simply provide the tools and the opportunities for kids to make the
Looks
right
like a Days of
decision.
Alive.
We do that through education, parenting
He's
programs,
so right with that.
after school programs.
That,
Right
Tom?
there. He's so right. He's
What'd he say?
absolute. He's give the kids something to do, and they won't go and do anything bad.
No, he's right.
He's right. He's right on the money.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, let's keep playing here.
Community outreach.
The experience, understanding, and vision to lead.
When you have a prosecutor that understands who you are and understands how important it is to get the criminal, it makes all the difference in the world.
The truth wants to come out, I think. It's my job to make sure that I give folks that are in the community, witnesses, victims, the avenue to tell that truth.
Yeah, this is when Alan, 2012.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Wow.
That's great. That's really great. And that's what I mean. He's got the advantage. He was a prosecutor for a long time, so he's got that advantage now. All right, we can't leave out David Yannetti. I got a little sizzle reel for David Yannetti. Let's play that. And I apologize. I can't find anything on Liz, but I'll do my best here to at least represent David Yannetti and Alan Jackson. This is about 3 years ago. Let's play this. I don't know if this phone number is still valid, but I'm sure his website is. So I'm sure his phone number is the same.
I've been practicing law for over 20 years now. The first 10 years, I practiced as a prosecutor, where I
Oh, he was a prosecutor
cut
as well,
my
too.
teeth and learned my craft. And for the last 10 years, I've maintained a law office in Boston, practicing solely criminal defense work.
That American
People
flag.
who are
I love
in
it.
trouble
My
are
guy.
for somebody in whom they can have ultimate confidence that that person, that attorney, can handle anything that comes the client's way, and will do so with a steady hand and with zealous advocacy. That's what I bring to the table. I know how cases should be made. I know how they should be put together. Given my background as a prosecutor, I hold current prosecutors and the police to the standards that I set for myself.
There you go.
I treat every client as though their life is on the line with whatever crime that they've been charged with. When they hire me, they get me. I keep control over all my cases. And if there's any important event or trial or hearing, it will be me that is by my client's side. And I would not have it any other way.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, it's
Man.
good. It's fun, you know. It was fun tracking these down. I kind of looked around and said they got to have some sizzle reels on them, so you know, like promoting
Mhm.
themselves and talking about it. It's fun to look at that stuff. By the way, I just want to let everybody know, $25 donation came in via Buy Me a Coffee from Dina Jam. She's a moderator here and a member. I appreciate that. So let's add 25. Oh, is there a Lally reel? I don't know. Maybe I can find one, but let's add 25 to the total, and I'll look around while Tom and I kind of, you know, fiddle around here and talk. So
Cool.
yeah, I mean, I think Jen McCabe hasn't met her match, and I think that a lot of these witnesses, because they're so cocky and they feel that they're so confident, they get up there. I mean, we saw full cockiness out of Matt McCabe the other day,
We
and
saw it out of Colin. Yep.
yeah.
Nope. Yep.
Nope.
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 Yep.
Yep. Can you rephrase that? What? You
Huh?
didn't understand my question?
What? I
But
mean,
I think,
it's
they
on full
haven't met
display.
that
And the more they bring up, the clearer it gets. It really makes it clearer.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find something on Lally. I don't think there is anything.
All right. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Yeah. What do you got?
All right, you ready?
This is your new car?
New whip.
Truck or car?
Oh, it's a toy. Can you see that?
Oh, Jesus, man. What do you got? What's this, a Nissan? What's this, a Supra?
Nope.
Nissan, not a Maxima.
Nope.
It's a Nissan, though, right? Nissan Z?
Yep.
What year is this?
86.
Oh, my God. Tommy, look at this thing.
It's crazy, right? Look at this thing.
Where'd you get this from? In here in Look at this, the flip lights. You got this in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. I mean, it's all there.
We're gonna see Tom driving up in style at the.
No,
the
I wouldn't say style.
Come on, that's style and profiling.
No, it's millennium proof.
How many miles on it? Like 200,000?
120.
That's not bad.
No.
It's an 84, 85.
86.
Interior looks good.
Man, no rips. All the interior's in there.
Is it manual?
Yeah, it's 5-speed.
Nice.
The dash isn't even cracked. Usually the
Oh
dash
yeah,
crack,
that's good. Yeah.
No dash crack, nothing. It's all there. All the pieces are there.
V4 or V6?
V6.
There you go.
Yeah.
The cluster looks good.
Yeah. Gotta fix the tack. That's just the ground wire.
Tommy's new ride. Wait till you pull up in court in that thing.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I had one back when I was younger, so.
Oh, there you go. A little nostalgia.
It was fun. So now I'm going to play with it. It's like a Half-Life Crisis type of a thing.
Nice. Paul Cristoforo, $10. Thank you. Says AJ is straightforward. Get it done, guy. DY is a sniper, just as effective. Don't see him coming. What did they say? You're not going to see us coming. And this is the thing. This is the thing that gets really wild about this. This is the Commonwealth's witnesses. We haven't even seen. This is the Commonwealth's case and the Commonwealth witnesses. We haven't even seen the defense's case yet. Wait till you see that. That's going to really shake some people up, because I'm going to tell you, they haven't shown all their cards. They know a lot more than people think. And wait till they start pulling all their up. So let's add that 129 total. Thank you so much. Let's do this, Tom.
But wait a minute. On that note, though, right? Mm-hmm. What people I don't think are realizing, okay, is you have a guy from California, and then you have a guy from Boston. Two different lawyers.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Two different lawyers. Okay. Now they come together and they actually click. Like they work together very, very good. Like they get each other. The yin and the yang thing. Like you get a serious Boston lawyer and a serious California lawyer, and you put them together.
Forget it.
And you're gonna wait, what, 4 days before you get interviewed by them? Oh man.
Tom, let me ask you a question. And I brought this up on one of my shows, and I want to hear your thought on this. So they charge Karen first with vehicular manslaughter. Then they up her charges, a couple days later or like a week later, to second-degree murder. Okay.
Yep.
Now because the case is so weak, and we know the case is not true, you have the DUI manslaughter. So they thought they were going to scare her with that. So
Yes.
plea, walk away. Nope. All right, let's bang her with murder charges. So now she's got second-degree murder. She's got David Yannetti. Okay. So David Yannetti. Now they start getting into the cell phone stuff, and that's a little bit out of the wheelhouse for Yannetti. So Karen finds Alan Jackson. Now, just like you said, they combine the two. It's like, I've always said this all along. It's kind of like fishing with dynamite. I think that they tried to push Karen, knowing that their case was extremely weak because all this didn't happen. Karen didn't kill John. We know that factually. We know what actually happened. We need to start looking at the people at 34 Fairview, and we're seeing that play out in front of us. But anyway, I digress on that. So I think what they tried to do, scare Karen. She's going to take the plea, but she had two wonderful lawyers that came in, dissected this case, and said, there's tons of holes in this. I'm going to be able to beat through this. Don't take the plea. Let's get up. And then you started seeing, and I think Lally and I think Morsi underestimated Alan Jackson and David Yannetti, because then we started to see the display of their talents during the hearings.
But back up.
Go ahead.
Okay? That all that's absolutely true. But we have to back up because there was some really nefarious stuff that went on prior to Karen Reed, okay? And you can't talk about Karen Reed without talking about Sandra Birchmore. Okay? So, like, when that happened, that would trigger an FBI investigation. When you have 4 cops and an underage minor, and then she's pregnant, and then absolutely no. Now, I believe the chief, that lady, could only do so much, but I think she could pass it off and then give it to them. I think she started that investigation at that point when she took over and did what she did, as much as she could, while still keeping her job. So they were looking at that when this happened. This happened a year later, Brian, almost to the day. So think about it. So she dies by whatever means, and the chief in Stoughton makes the phone call. It takes what, 3-4 weeks? Okay, there's probable cause. Then it takes another month to get the money, to get funding. Then they get up. There's something else here. Need more people, need more money, because it's all about money.
Right.
It's all about the budget in the FBI office and how much money is being spent to do what investigation. That's what it comes back to, because you need to provide results, or they're not going to give you more money. So look at the time frame of when it started, and then what happened to John. They have all of the data, and one person led to another, and they just make a phone call, or they go over to the computer, click the mouse, and there's the phone records in front of them. They don't even need a warrant. They already have it.
Right.
They have superseding warrant because they're doing an investigation. My data. They're getting all the people's data, and they're playing dumb because just like Sandra Birchmore, the fix was in from the beginning, and that's how it works. You know, you're not going to fire your boss. You're not going to, as a rookie, you're not going to go arrest the chief. Doesn't work like that. You don't go fire your boss.
Right.
End of story. That's corruption. That and unfortunately, people think they can get away with doing what they did. I think we're at a point where that's just not true no more, and this has got to stop, because you're not going to frame this poor girl that didn't do anything. Sorry.
Yeah. And then the easiest scapegoat in the Karen Reed case is Karen Reed.
Oh, she's the outsider. She does. We all hang together. We all drink together. We all do whatever together. This girl doesn't do nothing. She don't know anything.
Right.
Blame it on her.
It's easy. They looked. See,
and they didn't have to involve the town plow guy at this point. They could remove that whole thing. So they're doing the town a favor by not blaming Lucky.
And the thing that the McAlberts underestimated was they looked at Karen as a very weak person. And then when they blamed all this on her, they said, well, she'll just end up probably taking the plea and walking away. Well, guess what? Karen's a lot smarter than that. And Karen's a lot stronger than that. And through the power of her amazing attorneys, they're going to fight back and win this case. I truly, truly believe that. I don't think the jury's buying one fucking moment of this so far. I really don't.
again, and I hate to even say this because it's going to come out wrong, but man, am I glad that they picked on the Reeds, because I don't think my family couldn't go through something like that.
Mhm.
But look
It's
at her,
wrong.
look at her family, right? And
Mhm.
look at the strength and the love and the support that they have as a family. I mean, we all fight, right? But then it's just whatever. That's how that is. But they're at a different level altogether. And I think they've shown, all the supporters and all the people that watch, I think they've shown, like, listen, people, there's more to life than even a murder charge, because
Right.
look at what it's their family, you know, it's they're all behind her in every 100% of a way. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
And thank God it's them to show us what handling with grace is, because
Mhm.
I don't know if anyone could handle it this way,
Right. No, I agree.
you know. And I
Let me
hate
just
to even say it
go ahead.
because it shouldn't even be here, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is you can see the frustration just through on Karen's face through all like this kind of like, I cannot believe that when I look at her and she's in court, and I know she's people are saying stuff, oh, she's looks mean and this that. No, the look on her face is like, I cannot believe that I've been dragged through the mud for the last 2.5 years, and I have to sit here in front of these people that know what happened, and they're gonna lie to my face. That's what I see when I see Karen sitting there. Hang on, we'll touch on that thought here in a second. Just want to get to a couple of these super
Yeah,
chats.
go.
Jill, thank you so much for the $19.99. 25% of your donation will go back to Karen Reed's defense fund. I think I saw a $2 one come through as well. Oh, my voice cracked. Did you hear that? Gator 23, thank you so much. Says, don't forget about Sean McDonough. He's been on fire. Yes.
Again,
Sean on the golf. I'm so sorry.
there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're right. And
there
I
really is.
apologize. Yeah, I've
It's
had
not
Sean on my
fair.
show. Yeah,
You know,
I
you know.
apologize. I've had Sean on my show, and you are right. Sean's done a great job as well. Oh, my voice cracked again. Sean's done a great job as well. He's been on my show, and I totally respect and admire Sean.
All right, so time out here, right?
Yeah.
Megan is wow, but has everyone that's here now, has everyone at least hit the subscribe button? Because there's like 40% that hasn't.
Yeah,
So
and the
if
like
we can
button
make that
too.
20%, that'd be like the best thing in the world to support Brian's channel, because Brian does a lot, as does everybody else. But again, I mean, we need to support Brian as much as we support everyone else at the same time. So we can't forget about your channel either.
All right, and let's do this. I'm going to read this first. Megan, thank you so much for the $49.99. Justice for Karen and John O'Keefe. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you for that huge super chat. And can someone do me a favor? One of my mods, can you grab Tom's link to his channel, and let's get that dropped in the chat. And if everybody in here is not subscribed to Tom, you need to make sure you subscribe to Tom, because Tom is out in front of the courthouse every day about an hour before court starts. He gets to greet Karen, the Reeds, and what kind of be a liaison to her and walk her into court. And then they do their live stream out pretty much all day to give you kind of the activity that's going on outside the courthouse and maybe some of the conversations. And then what they do is at the end of the day, they watch Karen walk out. And that's where you kind of get a little bit more access to them. They open up a little bit more. I know Karen was talking the other day, which was really nice to see that. And her attorneys were actually saying some things on Friday. And that was really nice. But let's get subscribed. Tom subscribed as well. Trying to get him to 10,000 subscribers. I think he's close to 8,000 or what did you?
Yeah, like almost 7,500.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
amazing.
They dropped your link in the chat. So just click on that. Subscribe over to Tom. He does his lives out there in front of the courthouse. And thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. And I think we're at about $250 total tonight. So 25% of that will be kicked back to Karen Reed. And if you're just getting here, the way that I keep that all transparent is 3 ways, actually. One, I post the receipt just after my stream on my Facebook page, which is LTL Media. Then I post it on my YouTube community page, that receipt as well. So you can go there and check it for transparency. And then the ultimate way is if you go right to the defense link, you can click on recent donations and it will say LTL Media chat raiser and then the amount that we raise and kick back with the date. So you know that the date is up there. We keep it transparent.
So Robin just made a comment. You get me through many hours every day at work. Thank you.
It's good.
Like,
yeah,
you're welcome. And again, that's why I do it, right? I mean, that's why I do it. So I'm just glad that that you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, there's nothing like boots on the ground coverage, because if you're someone that lives on the other side of the world or the other side of the country or in a different state, you can come to that live stream and see what's going on. A lot of people want to know what's going on in front of the courthouse. And believe me, Tom's caught a lot of activity out there, a lot of the extracurricular activity that's gone out there.
Oh.
I mean, we had counter protesters out there. We've had Free Karen Reed supporters that are out there all the time. We've seen some interesting interactions with the attorneys when they've come in. I mean, everything. It's real life. It's common in real life.
It's legit. It's real. And it's
Mhm.
funny because Karen seems more, she seems very chatty lately, more chatty than she's been before. Like, for example, there was one time when she was walking and I stepped left. So I was walking backwards. I stepped left and she stepped left as we were walking. And I went right so that I wasn't in her way. And then she went right. And then I went left and she went left again. And I'm like, all right, wait a minute. And she was messing with me. Right. And I didn't even realize it, but she didn't have to say a word.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
now she comes out and she'll look at my camera and she'll say, Eddie Haskell. And you know,
Well, it's nice
it's-
to even just get that acknowledgement, because they do start to know who we are. I mean, I was out there the other day. I did a split session. I kind of went on Friday. I did the morning. I hung with Tom, hung with all the Free Karen Reed supporters. And, I had some interaction with the Reeds, and they said, hey, we watched your show. We know what you're doing. You're kicking back all those donations. We appreciate that. And then it's nice, when Karen comes through and gets ready to go into court, she turns and acknowledges, say, hey, hey, Brian, how are you? So they know who we are.
Oh, yeah.
They know what we're doing.
No doubt.
And that's,
No doubt.
It's
And
great, because it makes you feel good inside, because you're doing such a good thing. Go ahead, Tom.
It's funny how she's able to walk down and say, like, hi, Chrissy, hi, Alex.
Yeah.
And, she knows everyone that's just
Mhm.
standing there clapping and just being there. She knows who these people are without even talking to them.
Right.
I mean, there's no other way, but she's got a watch or something, but she's very, very attentive and very, very smart, that I've noticed, like, in that aspect of noticing people, because I still have problems with people's names, and
Oh, I do too.
she's bang, 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 bang. So, I mean, I noticed that about her.
And one thing that I actually really love that we've seen with Karen as well, and even through the whole process of selecting the jury, she's very involved in this case. She showed up every single day with jury selection. Obviously, she's been there with all her hearings. And if you notice during the trial, she's very interactive with her attorneys. So she's in on this. She knows everything that's going on. And that's really good to know that. Go ahead, Tom.
I think she's, like you said, I think she's really involved, not to the point where she can stand up and speak as an attorney, but I think she's as smart as an attorney. And don't forget, she's got financial backing, mental part in her head still. So
Right.
the financial part, lawyer wise, I'm sure if she wanted to go into that field, like the money side of it,
Right.
she could do very well over there.
Mhm.
So I think she's, again, they picked the wrong person to pick on, because I think she's well out of their league. I think she's well above them.
And that's what I
they're going to
think.
find out.
And that's what I think, going back to what I initially said. I think Lally and Morsi underestimated her. I think the McCabe, the McAlberts, they all underestimated Karen Reed. The police departments that have been involved with this, the state police that have been involved with this, everybody that has investigated this case or had any part to do with it, I think they all underestimated her will and her willingness to understand what is going on, to sort through all that and get the proper attorneys that can handle this. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say, you fucked with the wrong person, because she knows her stuff, and they're getting the job done, and they're exposing everything that the Commonwealth, the Commonwealth has zero case, because it didn't happen the way that they said. Let me just get to this $9.99. And Kyle is actually a new subscriber here on the channel and a new member. He said he just recently subscribed. He said, don't have much fixed income. That's perfectly fine,
No.
Kyle. Don't feel the need that you have to donate. I understand that, but I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. He said, after 31 years with Dallas, as soon as they started describing the scene and trauma, and this is, they turn people. I went from reasonable doubt to certainly of her innocence. Thanks for the Karen Reed fix. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for coming to these channels and not going to the mainstream media, because you're getting the firsthand knowledge of what we know in this area because we're here. The mainstream media, what they do is these court cases come up, they don't really know the background into it, and they just jump in and give you kind of the surface layer stuff. We dig in, we know what's going on, we hear everything that's going on here in the streets and can report that back to you. And my tagline going forward, is the future is independent media, and I really feel that it is. I really do.
So, good example of that. You ready? They were walking with Karen. All the reporters were surrounding Karen, and they were asking Karen if she was going to take the stand. And she made a response. She didn't say yes or no, but she said, "We're going to see how it comes out like that." What she said versus what they made it seem like she said, two absolutes, two different ends. So if you're watching this, you're seeing exactly what she says, and that's my job is to let you see that. And the same to do with Brian's, but just letting you see it and you make up your own mind.
Right.
So you can hear the whole conversation in the whole context in itself.
Right.
And at that point, what she says is pretty smart. It's not what they took out of what she said that they wanted to make it look like. So
right.
There's a lot to be said for what we do and what you guys do and what you are able to observe on your end, because we rely on what you guys see, right? So you guys are just as important to this whole situation.
Yeah, and Sleuthy Goosey's in the chat too, and Sleuthy's done an amazing job on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to her, and also on Twitter. She does a great job on X or Twitter. I still call it Twitter,
everything they do. Again, are we not blessed to have these creators here, Brian? Course. I mean, look at what we have for data and access.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, I don't want to let's not, keep this inside the box. I want everybody to know, if it wasn't for Aiden Turtle Boy Carney and what he discovered and put out there, we wouldn't all be having this conversation. No. He is the king. He's the man. He is the one that started all of this.
He lit the fire. How about
absolutely.
That? He started that fire. He had some napalm and he went to town with it.
And while he was away, I know that all of us are very proud that we had the opportunity to keep carrying the torch. When he had that
to help him to do anything we could to carry the message for Karen.
That privileged jail stint for free speech. You know what I mean? It's insane. But we had that opportunity to keep this going, because I didn't, and let me just do this and then let's talk about that a little bit. Deanna Miller, $20. So jumping on the train, $20 for 20,000 subs. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Also catching up regarding the O'Keefe's ring cam. Not only did Karen not point out the taillight, she was not yelling and screaming. Jed said that she was that time and not a peep. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Believe me, it's all falling. Their story's falling. Go ahead, Tom.
If you notice Karen, when she gets out of that SUV, right? She comes around.
It goes like this real quick.
And she looks. And she looks. And she looks.
Because
she's looking.
She's looking for John.
Yeah. Where is he? Yeah. I mean, that's an absolute 100% reaction to someone looking for somebody. If what they said happened at 34 with her vehicle, she'd know. She wouldn't be looking. She'd be doing what Jen McCabe did. Right in the house, not looking. Did Jen McCabe look around like that? Was she looking for him? Did he not? Did he almost make it home? Is he right over there?
He beelined it right to the door.
Right? I mean, come on. And you want Alan Jackson and David Yannetti to get together in a room for 3 days and start thinking of questions they're going to ask you? Good luck with that one. Wow.
I already know I already know how it's going to open. I guarantee you, Alan Jackson gets up to the podium and says, good morning, Jen. And he says, before we start, is there anything in your testimony you would like to go back and change? Here's the opportunity to do so. And then it's just going to be boom.
Oh, man.
I think it's going to be, I think it's literally going to be one of the most watched moments in a case, I would say, in a long time.
It has to be. How can it not? We've been waiting how long for this?
Witness to the situation.
And what's funny is the more we hear about that, the deeper evil it just becomes. You don't believe someone like that is like among us.
Mhm.
There's people like that. I don't
It's
believe
the
it.
devil. I mean, it's the devil.
It's scary. Like
Mhm.
that type of people in this world is not right. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not for killing people, but maybe the death penalty needs to come back.
Jan! Jan! I mean, that's the devil. That's
You,
the
you
devil
know,
coming out.
and then when Karen was at the window begging Jen to help, and she's I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone.
The man passed out in the snow.
I'm on the phone. No, nope. So yeah. So would I want to be? Would I want to be her? No. What do I want to give her a heads up of what questions are going to be asked? No. So yeah. So I
Hang
hope
on a
she
second.
sleeps. No.
Sloopy just sent me a video. I'm going to play this real quick.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I can't wait to see this. This is going to be good.
Let's see. Jan! Jan! Oh. All right, hang on. Let me
I
pull
was
this up.
listening to the speakers when she said that. It was horrendous.
Oh,
I
it
couldn't.
was like the
It was-
devil.
yeah, I couldn't. It hurt.
All right, let me pull this up. Thanks, Sloothy. Let's play this. What did she say? Uh-oh.
It's been being in the courtroom for the past couple weeks, and everyone's close together, I'm sure.
The intimacy is good. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and it's vindicating, Matt. It feels vindicating. The truth's got to come out. It's the only way to do it.
Good stuff. Thank you, Sloothy. I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
Ain't that the
Sunlight is
truth?
the best disinfectant. She's right.
Yep. There's me in the background.
Kyle, again, another $2. Thank you so much. What do we have for a total? If one of my mods can run the total, and we'll take 25% and kick that back to Karen tonight. So it says, bugs me the DA has everything too yet going on. But I think honestly, I mean, what Tom and I have seen, the times that I've been out with the Tom, we saw Lally, 2 weeks ago going into court. Dude looks defeated.
All done.
Absolutely defeated. Done.
Where's that video? I posted it.
Doesn't want to be there. If you can find it, Tom.
Oh my God.
I literally was like, oh my God, that's Lally right there.
He was so beat
was
just
so
looking
defeated.
at him. I mean,
but he has no choice because Morrissey's pushing the thumb. You got to
his
go.
hair follicles were beat, dude.
Huh?
His hair follicles were beat.
He's lost so much hair. I did a comparison when we watched the first arraignment, Karen, right? He was like brown hair. He had a lot more hair on the top, no gray in his beard. In 2.5 years, it literally looked like that guy has aged like 20 years.
Yeah.
If you can find the video, though, let me read through these super chats. If you find it, we'll play it. CPU mod 1. I think that's probably one of your mods, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
It says, thank you for all that you do. I've been very curious about Higgins and what his role is going to be on the stand. Very confident in Karen's team to shine the real truth on this trial. So we're going to add $19.99. That will round it to 20 if we can get a running total of one of my mods, 315 total right now. Thank you so much. Deanna Miller with 10 says, in my opinion, that entire group tried to gaslight at all the time. Vulnerable, traumatized Karen, completely set it all up beyond my cousin Vinny. They literally gaslighted and manipulated her herself to question herself. Yes, I completely agree. And I always go to this.
At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk.
Yes, when did you shoot him?
I shot the clerk.
I always go to that. My cousin Vinny. Let's see. Let's go to Super Sticker. Garrett, thank you so much for $5. $5 Super Sticker. Thank you. Yeah, we can add the memberships too. We'll just round them up to $5. That's fine. And then Kevin C dropping in with a 19.9er. We'll round it to 20. Says Jen says, I think I'll get this right. Jen says, I think at Karen said, I hit him. Is that just a hearsay? Jen's word against Karen. So that's bullshit. That's all bullshit. That's just added in for effect. That's all that is. The I hit him. So first she's saying that when none of the authority is around, Jen says, well, we were having conversations. She said, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? But all of a sudden, when she's in front of all the authorities that are all in on this, it's I hit him. So before you're saying one thing and now you're saying another, what is it, Jen? What is the story? Doesn't make sense.
Again, take away everything Jen McCabe said from all the testimony. And what do you got? Just remove that.
Right.
Remove it. You have nothing.
You have nothing.
Nothing at all.
Absolutely nothing.
No.
Yeah, and then I love this one too. When John's niece calls Jen and hands the phone to Karen, Jen says, she testifies that Karen said, well, we were out last night. John and I got in a fight and I left him at the waterfall. That, what she's trying to do there, because we know in previous testimony, everybody thus far, this testimony, and this is the Commonwealth's witnesses, okay? Keep this in mind. None of them have said that Karen seemed intoxicated, that she had been drinking. She was fine. This is a coach. This is being coached from Lally now, because they got to get this in there, okay, to make it seem and to distance herself from Karen. This little, I would say, piece of conversation that they're fabricating, that I left him at the waterfall, is to make you think that Karen Reed was so intoxicated when she left the waterfall that she couldn't remember the point up until where she was at the waterfall. That's all Jen's trying to do there. That's 101 coaching from Lally, 100%.
Remember, there was something that she made one of her girlfriends drink a beer when she stopped in over just to drop. Remember that?
Yeah.
Very convincing.
Yeah.
You know,
but it's funny, all her details in her story, she can remember all these, all these fine details, all these added details that it's just so unnecessary. Oh, and here's another one too. This one blew my mind out of my head. And I was like, the gall that she would say this. So she gets off the phone with Karen. They're going to go look for John. She goes downstairs and makes herself a coffee. Sorry if my friend is missing. And oh God, there's so many points that aggravate me.
Out the door.
Yeah. So I'm out the door. I probably wouldn't even have shoes on. I'd have socks. I'd be running. And why is this? When I get Karen, I'm going to bring her back to John's house, which is not the last place that he was seen. The last place was 34 Fairview. Why would you drive her back to John's house and not to the last place that he was seen? Because it's a delay tactic.
Exactly. That's the only other reason. There's no reason to do that.
So if I was out with you, Tom, right? Okay, I'm out with you, right?
Yep.
And you and I meet up for a drink and we go to the 99, okay? Yep. We're at the 99. We're having a drink. I don't drink, but I'm just saying. I'm having a Pepsi or whatever. No, not Pepsi. Diet Coke. Diet Coke. Ooh.
I'm having Sprite.
So you and I are having a drink. We're hanging out. We're talking Karen Reed, whatever. I leave. You leave. You get in the new whip. I drive home, right? And then the next day, someone calls me and says, oh my God, Tom is missing. Where would I go? I would go to the last place that I saw you to talk to someone there. Did you see my friend leave? Did he leave with anybody? Did he get in his car? Did he walk off? I'm not going to go to your house because you weren't there.
And I bet you if you are there before the restaurant's open, you're banging on the door, seeing if there's somebody inside anyway. I guarantee it, right? Just to ask, where did my friend go? Which way did he go? What did he leave in his? That's what I'm saying. Is that never happened?
Right.
That never happened.
Nick Rocco in the chat, by the way. Nick, if you have time, I'm not sure if you do, but if you have time, I'll drop the link for you if you want to jump on with me and Tom. We're just having a free and open conversation here. I would love for you to jump in and give us kind of your 2 cents on what's going to happen on Tuesday. I'd love to hear that. But if you don't have time, it's okay. We'll schedule something and get you over here. Just let us know in the chat. But yeah, I mean, Tom, come on. You left. The last time I saw you was at the 99. I'm not going to go to Friendly's to find you. I'm going to go to the 99.
You're sure not going to go start Googling stuff when we leave, separate each other? Like what happens to someone in a car accident? Or what happens if your brake lines fail, right?
Right.
And then my brake lines fail. What are the odds of that?
Right. Let me do this.
Listen, they used evidence.
No problem, Nick.
In the murder trial, what's the guy's name? His wife's missing.
Oh, Walsh.
Yes,
that's coming up soon. And guess who's the lead prosecutor on that?
They got all the electronic data there.
Everything.
And it's valid. But in this case, it's not valid.
You read the report. Michael Proctor was so thorough in all of his collection of data in the Google searches that Brian Walsh did on the iPad, on his phone. That guy is so, what is the word I'm looking for? That guy is such a gratuitous monster. He used his kid's iPad to search out how to kill his wife. That is like beyond.
All right,
I mean,
so
he
who
was
would you
using
rather
his
be in the
kid's
cell
iPad.
with, him or Jen?
Would I want to be in the car with?
A cell.
A cell? Neither.
You got to make
Neither.
a choice. What's the worst? Which one's
Who's
the worst?
worse?
Yeah, because that's not who you're gonna pick. I take Walsh all day long. I wouldn't trust him
Yeah, I
in
don't
any
know.
way.
I
No.
don't think I'd want to be around him either.
Well, neither would I, but I mean, I think he's the lesser of two evils, if there is such thing.
Yeah. Kristen, thank you so much for the 199. She says, love it when you two work together. Well, thank you for being here. And I always love when Tom's here. Tom and I used to crank out the Sunday shows.
All Sundays we used to do a lot of shows. Yeah.
Feels good to have him back in the passenger seat here. And then I told Tom, I got an empty seat right there. We got to get Tom live in studio.
Working on it.
Some point here. Let's see. Nick says, Brian, I already have the show set up with the glare, but if you have another body language expert to do a second show of yours down to host it. Cool. Yeah, no problem, Nick. Not a problem. I just love to see what you have to say about Tuesday, but it's no problem.
And by the way, talk about doing a lot. That guy does all the fundraising. He goes on, he's on court TV all the time, messing with the Pleving dude. I mean, and he's at the court.
Yep.
That,
They
I mean,
raised a lot of money for the Reeds.
That's a lot of like effort that him and his wife both put out. So, that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so.
they've raised a lot of money for the Reeds, and we thank you for that. Debbie Rose, 999er. Thank you, Brian and Tom, for keeping us informed. What I find mind-boggling is 3 weeks of I don't remember. We now have Matt and Jen with amazingly detailed recalls. Yeah, that's kind of strange. Yeah, she got a good point. No one knew anything, but the minute Matt and Jen got on the stage, they know all the details. And there's all these other ridiculous details that don't even need to be thrown in. That is interesting.
When did that group chat get started? I'm curious. Did they say?
I don't know. I'd have to go back.
When was the creation of that? Because that blows my mind, that group chat.
Right. Let's see. El Detective Dewan 199. I said, would you rather be in a jail cell with Grant? Probably. I don't know. I
could deal with Grant. I would take Grant. I could deal with him. Grant, he's not that bad, really. Grant, you just got to talk to him when he's in his mood.
He's a mess.
Yeah.
Mazza, welcome in. How are you?
What's going on, Brian? How are you, sir?
Good. Thanks for jumping on.
No problem. Hey, Tommy, I know you. I think you called into my show about 3 hours ago, didn't you?
I'm gonna have nightmares now. I'm gonna think of your name all night long. You'd be in my head.
That's exactly right. Jeez, I can't imagine having Grant as a cellmate, but I would say this: I'd probably tolerate him as a cellmate over a lot of other people in this world because at least the guy's got some comedic effect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And again, right? Mazza done so much for the Karen Reed movement on Twitter. I mean, he owns that place, and I'm glad because I have no presence over there really, but you do. So we need people like you there to do what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So it's good how everyone has like a niche,
Yeah,
and
you do great on Young Jerks too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
all the time.
So let me get your two pennies on this one, Mazza. What are we going to see on Tuesday? Come on, give us you're a good analysis. What are we going to get on Tuesday? Give the people here watch. We got about 1,400 people in chat. Let them know what we're going to see on Tuesday from Alan Jackson.
We're going to see the most concentrated cross-examination that you've probably ever gonna see in this particular case, with the exception of the Michael Proctor cross-examination, because even though there might be people here that are more involved in the carrying out of what John O'Keefe's fate was, we're dealing with an individual that seems to be one of the primary or principal authors of what the cover-up, where the cover-up was actually rooted in. So this is going to be a cross-examination that is to the extreme. This is going to be one of the most thorough cross-examinations that you're going to see in this entire case, because when you look at Jen, she holds so many cards here.
Yeah.
She came out on Friday, and I thought she was well prepared to speak. The information that she chose to speak. And what that means is she gave an account of her story in perception or the cover up that was well prepared. And I always liken it to it's a foundation of truth filled in with its cracks are all filled in with lies. So basically, if you picture bricks, the bricks are the truth, the cement is the lies. And basically that's how I look at this here, is that basically some of the things they're saying are somehow rooted in certain truths, but then it's just all filled in with a bunch of stuff that just throws off the
Yeah.
overall presentation. And that's what I'm seeing here out of her. And it's just like I said, I don't believe a word she's saying. I think that she's out there and she seemed extreme, she seemed over prepared. I would say this, she seemed over prepared and over rehearsed to
Yeah.
say whatever nonsense that she had to say, and she was more than willing to tell everybody this totally memorized story that's manifested in her head as reality and just present this as truth. And it hit the hardest when they pan over from her after she gets done crying over to Karen, and Karen looks like the most, I mean, it's like the girl that gets victimized by the mean girls. It was She looks so sold out
Mhm.
by Jen. It was written all over Karen's face, and it hit
Mhm.
me hard because I was sitting there watching it, and I stopped and I just sat there and I just went dead silent when I was watching it, looking at
Mhm.
Karen for that 2-minute period or whatever it was.
Mhm.
And it's like this woman has been completely sold down the drain by these people. And anybody out there that still thinks Karen Reed did it, I know they think that we're out of our minds. On the contrary, I say this wholeheartedly to everybody out there that's on the other side of this thing. I think you guys are out of your minds, quite honestly, because I see no. Karen's a totally innocent woman. She's factually innocent. You can see it on her face when you see her reaction to Jen telling her story. And I just see Jen, and it's like I just see a woman that's blowing smoke up our asses, if I may swear on this show.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. And it's just I just don't see someone that's being truthful. I do not. And people at some might say out there on the other side may say I'm wrong or I'm out of my mind. But again, I just don't see a person that's being truthful. I think she was very well rehearsed.
Mhm.
And that's when I saw her presentation, I'm like, this is a person that, and her husband, this goes for him too, and their daughter.
Mhm.
They spent a lot of time memorizing key details, and everybody had a part to play, and they knew what each person needed to say, and maybe to some degree not to say. But the thing is like Turtle Boy pointed out on his show last night, there's a lot of details that cameras come out, and there's footage of them all running in John's house together.
Mhm.
Whereas, there's another story she tells at 3 different points during the not sorry, during Lally's questioning that don't line up with what the truth
Yeah.
is. So it's crazy.
Yeah. I
Listen,
got I
who
got
who
2 real.
gets who
Go
gets
ahead, Tom.
married? Who gets engaged
Yeah.
during this type of a thing? I don't understand.
Psychopaths.
Yeah.
They got engaged.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
They just got off the stand.
And apparently they don't talk to each other about this case. So
And they all showed up at the same place. They were all there having a
All there.
party. Like,
Right.
what? How can
Right.
that not be a conflict?
Right. I got 2 points I want to make. And I'm going to just read through a couple super chats that came in and get these up on the screen. 2 points I want to make, and maybe you all can kind of answer this. Both time we saw tears. Both time we saw these tears on the stand. I never saw one actual real tear come from their eyes, and that's Allie McCabe and Jen McCabe. And another point I wanted to put out there too, that Jen's testimony, oh, I love John. He was a friend. Well, if you love someone and they're a friend and they're missing, you don't go downstairs and make a coffee first and then go looking for them. You just get out of bed and run out and find your friend. Let me just get through these super chats and then we'll continue this conversation. Allie says, I can't wait to watch Jen McCabe's arraignment on watch Jen McCabe's arraignment hearing on fire. Thank you so much for that. Amanda with the $4.99, she says, thank you both for all that you do. Thank you so much for the $4.99. I probably read that one above me. I got tongue twisted
Thank you,
on it.
Amanda. I know Amanda. Amanda does my Instagram, by the way. Everybody, just let me throw
And
that out
I
there.
love your Instagram. It's been really
She's
fire
wonderful.
lately.
She's been great with that.
Monique with the 1999 says, a new subscriber here, found your channel over the last few days, and I'm so impressed at the sincerity of the reporting and the facts that you are raising fund, and yet you are raising fund for Karen's defense. Thank you guys for all you're doing. I appreciate that. I want to let everybody know, in 14 days, just through LTL Media, my channel, and I choose to do this. Whatever anybody else chooses to do on their channel, that's their channel. But my channel, since the trial started, and I started doing this, in 14 days, I've kicked back $700 already to Karen Reed's defense fund by funding the 25% out of all the donations that come here. And I'm so happy and so proud to be able to do that. And I'm so thankful that you've all participated in that as well, too. Scott says, where's Jen's tooth? I like that. I saw a pound. Look at this $2 pound donation coming in from, it's going to be a Mortal Kombat Tuesday. I love that. I absolutely completely agree with that. And I think we had another super that came through really, really quick. So right now we're at 432 total, and 25% of that will be kicked back to Karen Reed. What do you got, Tom?
Look at the next super chat.
All right.
That's it. That's it.
I got this one first. I know this is jumping ahead, but could the McAlberts be facing life in prison for the murder of Boston police officer?
Yes.
Yes, of course. They perjure themselves enough, and then someone properly investigates this case. But the thing that scares me, I feel that all of the proper evidence has been destroyed. I'm kind of afraid of that.
No.
I agree with you on that. This is why I think that the Commonwealth won't pursue this, and I think that any chance you have of these people being taken down is going to be based on a federal takedown.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, time out. The F people, we'll call them the Fs, whoever they are, right? They gave what, 3,100 pages? How many pages did Matt McCabe have in his hand the other day with text messages? How many pages is that?
Like 7.
And how many did they get?
3,100.
So minus 3,100 minus 7. They don't need the phones. They have it.
Oh, they have everything.
They got it all. They go and they click a screen. They have everything. They already got it. Throw the phone in the river. Don't matter.
Yep. It's already been recorded.
It's already been recorded. That's the wonderful thing about the cloud. It's always there. Always. And, it's funny. You have ex-police officers. You have IT people in this. I mean, come on. You didn't think of this stuff? You didn't think of this stuff? But anyway, I'm glad
227 is just scratching the surface of what data they got.
Right. And Maz, the reason I'm telling you, the reason we heard all these multiple searches was because Jen's hands were cold, and it was her MS, and Karen was pulling her arm, and it was a frantic moment. That's why all these searches came up, Maz. But the funny thing is,
of course,
that happened way in the future after 227 when it really did happen. So
unreal. Time traveling can be a thing sometimes, Yeah.
Right. I'm waiting for Doc Brown to show up and say, Marty, Marty.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that one. Yeah, exactly.
Ragnar checking in with a $2 said, married to prevent testifying against each other, perhaps.
Yep. Bingo.
Kristen with a 5. TomCPU, where were there any days of court you noticed Karen had a difficult day, and which one? That's a great question.
That's a really good question. It's funny that you say that because she hasn't. When she leaves, she first off, she wants to leave and she wants to get in the car and go.
Of course.
Because I wouldn't want to sit there all day. There's that. So she wants to leave, but she's been just positive and upbeat and not happy. I'm not saying happy, but
confident.
Could be exuberantly confident in what happened that day. And when she leaves, she's always talking about it was a good day and we were able to bring up, the facts that we wanted to bring up. And she's very, very, I won't say guarded in what she says to the reporters and stuff, but she's pretty smart with what she tells them. And everything is just positive. And just so people know, like I don't ask her questions. That's not my job. You know what I mean? I'm just there to show you guys. That's it. So when she talks to the camera or talks, she takes me off guard. So I don't expect it.
Right.
But yeah, no, she hasn't had any bad days that I've noticed. That they've always been pretty decent, pretty upbeat.
I don't think that I've seen her mad. I think she's been frustrated. You know, and I don't know. I'm not Karen Reed, but I think some of the days where the judge rules on some certain things or doesn't let motions or evidence in, you can see that frustration. But I feel, and maybe Maz feels the same way too. I think that she's got the the most powerful and best positioned attorneys to take on this case. I couldn't see any other attorneys taking this case. What do you think, Maz?
Mazza, would you be able to sit there and go through all these objections? Like, would you get frustrated?
So I'm getting frustrated, and it's not even me in her position. Let me put it that way. Like, I sit there and sometimes I just like F-bomb out of nowhere, like, oh, they're gonna object this again, and she sustains it again. Are you kidding me? And the sidebar stuff. So what Karen's going through from a mental standpoint on court. Anytime you see her frustrated, or even when Jen was speaking and she seemed to be going through the emotions there, that is all 100% normal for any individual, regardless of their status. That's, I would say, more so probably someone that's not guilty in her particular stance. But I would say that the way Karen's reacting, and some things that she's getting frustrated about, things being allowed in or not allowed in by the judge, those are all natural emotions. Because it's, I've talked about this a few times. It's when you're on the line like that, and it's all, everything that's happening is pertaining to you. These people are getting into the innermost details of your life, and furthermore the outcome of your life, and where your life's going to end up going to, whether or not you're guilty or innocent. This is all affecting the jury. This is worse than being the Patriots down 14 to the Seahawks, or down 25 to the Falcons,
Right.
or the Red Sox down 3-0 to the Yankees. Because at the end of the day, if those teams lose, they simply lose a championship, and that's the worst that they have to lose.
Right.
If you're Karen Reed, you have freedom to lose, and you're in a situation where you know that you're innocent. So this is more intense and far more mind-numbing than anything a human being could ever possibly go through. And to some degree, if you were a guilty party, there'd be a degree of acceptance, and really you'd probably be more relieved if you are considered not guilty. But with Karen, she's an individual who's factually innocent and is not guilty, and she's worried about this, and I would be nervous too, because it's, again, you're seeing all this going on, and the judge is not, 80% of the time the judge is going to sustain an objection from the prosecution at minimum, and it's extremely difficult to go through as an individual. And I think that Karen, probably behind the scenes, is like any human being. They probably show more of that off the camera than they do on the camera. And I would say this: I would absolutely commend Karen for showing the amount of poise and confidence that she has through all this, despite this, because there's other people out there that wouldn't be able to keep up this kind of posture and all that as
And
well as she does.
the pacing too. I mean, this is a rigorous period. This has been her life for 2.5 years. I mean, she's been stuck in this, having to think about this every single day, that her boyfriend was murdered by people at 34 Fairview, and now she's being tried for that crime. This is her life. I couldn't keep up the mental pacing. I'd probably lose my shit at some point and probably go crazy.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough.
And to the attorney's point, again, I think that's what you're seeing out of the attorneys too, is that when she got a little frustrated about a ruling around Thursday, I think it was, you kind of saw her team immediately. Because the thing is too, is the attorneys have the experience, and the attorneys also know more than their clients a lot, and they'll typically kind of just console their client and say, in any situation, don't worry about this. This is what we expected. We're gonna counter this. We got good cross examination coming up. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about the judge's ruling. We're gonna get around this, Karen. So that's probably something that they're telling her, because again, when you're not a legal professional, we don't have the experience that they do, and we don't know what plays they're going to run to kind of counter these things. So it can be very frustrating, especially with the stakes so high as this is. I think Karen's being perfectly reasonable.
Let's use. I'm going to read a couple of super chats, and then I want to pull up. Did a presentation last night, and we have a lot of new people here tonight, and I want to talk about the jury and some of the sources that have been inside the courtroom and what they've told me about the jury. Of course, I'm not going to reveal who they are and all that stuff, but just some of their, how their emotions and their body language has been. And again, this is purely speculation. We really don't know how a jury is going to react, But we'll talk about a little bit about that. So Kyle, thank you for the $2. Says marriage is a privilege, doesn't work after the crime. I think he's going back and talking about the engagement because I'm a little bit behind on super chats here. Linda with the $2 super sticker. Thank you so much. We'll add that to the total. And I think my mods have been doing a great job here with the total. I had a couple more come through. Mag says, nope, not married when the crime is committed. Spousal privilege is not a privilege if you are and your spouse do a crime together. So we'll round that up to a 5. Thank you for that information. I got a couple more that came through. CPU mod 1 says Tom is a human shield for Karen like a bodyguard.
Yeah, there was a gentleman there that was trying to get in her face and tell her how his case is similar to hers for 50 years, and we had to do some interference and get some distance from him, and we had a couple other people that,
Was that the one where the state police stepped in after Alan Jackson spoke to the media?
Yeah,
the park.
We gave him a look and pointed to the guy, and they took care of it. Like, so I would say, like, they're on our, the state police are on our side.
Yeah, they've been really kind. They've been very nice down there.
Lately, they've been great.
Listen, there's rules out in front of the courtroom, and there are people like Smith Ellis that ruin it for everybody, and that's why those rules get enforced. And it's not the free Karen Reed people, and that's why. Did you see that tweet, Maz, from John DePietro saying that free Karen Reed supporters follow jurors home and harass them? Like,
I heard about that.
Yeah,
that's
come on.
unfounded. I mean, there's no way to follow them back home.
If that happened,
for
you
what
would
case?
see that
Not this
all
case.
over Channel 5.
It had to happen in another case because it's not this case.
It's not this case. Hell no. Frida,
it's not
thank
even
you.
possible.
Yeah, thank you for the 1990. It says, who is going to tell the truth? Are they going? And then are there going to be arrests? I don't know. And I was funny. I was talking about this today. I said, could you believe? I mean, it would be one of the most craziest things that I would probably ever see in any case. One of these witnesses for the Commonwealth, or just one of the witnesses at all that called, they finally just get up on the stand and say, I can't take it anymore. This is what happened. I think my mind would go flip like eggs in a frying pan just over and over and over again. It would blow me away if it happened. But I don't think that moment's going to happen.
I keep hoping for it. I'll be honest with you. Last week I kept saying, like, would one of you people just get up there and say the whole thing is a big cover up and Karen's innocent and throw the whole thing, upside down.
We only hope, but we still have more witnesses to hear from. So you never know. We do know that Higgins has the proffer. I'm not going to say it's Higgins. It could be. I don't know. But
I'll tell you what I do now. When I charge the batteries, I leave the batteries inside my backpack. So when I leave, I just unplug them and run. Because if that phone call comes that there's 35 black SUVs all stacking up somewhere ready to go,
right,
I'm following them as much as I can. You bet me.
Oh yeah. I hear
my.
you. And
we'll
you
break
just
the internet
watch all
that
the
day.
arrests go down.
Yep.
Right.
I can't
all right.
wait
So
for that.
let's talk a little bit about this. So I have some sources that have been inside the courtroom, and these are just general observations. It's observations from a multitude of information that's come over to me. And, from their vantage point, they're saying that the jurors appear to be very well-educated, professional, and well-rounded. They appear to be very attentive and take lots of notes. And they appear to be very frustrated, just like we all are, with all of the sidebars. Also, it says they seem to be reacting when Judge Bev allows the Commonwealth to drag on and get pretty much anything on the record. And then they also seem frustrated with all the objecting from the Commonwealth when Bev doesn't allow certain defense evidence or information. So it seems like they're all kind of playing off this too. And I talked about paint transfer the other night. That was interesting.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. Those statements, Brian.
See this? So this is Karen's photo. I think this was inside the Sally port, this one here.
Okay.
Right? So you have, okay, so let me go back here. Karen's SUV is black, right?
Yes.
John's SUV is like a light gray.
Yes.
Or a darker light gray. So if you have a car that's a lighter color that hits another car and the lighter color is on top of that darker color, it's going to call paint transfer. It's You've hit that car. So I noticed this the other night. Actually, I didn't know. One of my mods noticed this, and I went back to my auto body days because I took auto body in high school, and I went, holy shit, I never noticed that before. That's paint. That's from when Karen hit John's car. But I found it interesting that if you look on when they did the jury walkthrough and they took Karen's SUV and put it out in front of the front, which was the weirdest thing that I've ever seen that they would do that. But it's that paint is gone. You just see the dents where the paint was in this little, I don't know what that little BB hole is because that wasn't there. What is that?
That's an impact. That's an impact round. Something hit that. See that? See how the paint is all, it's all dented in.
Mm-hmm.
That's something shot at that, like a 22 round. Someone like
that interesting
22 at it. So let me guess. John must have pulled his backup weapon from his ankle, right? Shooting at the car, pow, 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 right? That didn't wake nobody up either.
Unbelievable.
Jeez.
All that action out in front of the house, and Brian Albert slept through it. Oh, and I'm just going to crush your theory right here. And I thought about this the other day. Jen McCabe said that she ran up to Brian Albert's bedroom, correct? And his wife and Brian Albert were in bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chloe was in the room, right? Why wouldn't Chloe jump at that point and alert? Because isn't that what dogs do? They alert.
Yep.
She ain't gonna walk in that house. Dog's fine, right? Dog's not gonna stroke out when just some stranger walks in. Because dog doesn't know who it
gonna
is.
freak out. And I've made this point before. My girlfriend has a border collie and a lab. If I literally fart outside, they're jumping all over the place. I mean, they do. That's what dogs do. They alert you to what's going on outside. They're your companion. You get them for companionship, and you get them to what? Alert you of things that are going on in and around your house.
But back up.
Mm-hmm.
When the police officer showed up, at that point, nobody leaves the scene. You don't send someone into a house. You don't let anybody leave the scene. You take each person, separate them, put them in a cruiser, put them in a cruiser, put them in a cruiser. You have 3 women out of control, all of them traumatic. You don't know what's wrong. You don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't take Karen's what she's saying because she's in stress. You know, you're gonna try and decipher like between what she was crying, she's upset. Like you have to pull that out of her. What is wrong, right? Think about that. Whereas Jen's like, oh, here you go, blah, 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 blah. They were drinking all night. So you take that into consideration, and it's just wrong.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
E1 says, 999er, we'll add that to the total. He says, I've been a defendant in a trial. It's the worst. You sit there and listen to people basically say what a piece of shit you are. Won the case, but it was the most horrible experience. Well, I'm so happy that you won your case. I don't know the what am I looking? The details of your case, but we are happy that you won it, and thank you for the 999er. Tyrone checking in with a $5 says, Brian, Tom, why do you think Lally is running video footage that doesn't match the testimony? Great job, fellas. I just don't think he was prepared. He's not prepared.
That's right.
And he's burning himself. I mean, the most burnt that I got the other day was the whole Jen McCabe's testimony. We pulled up, we got out. Karen did this whole charade. Look at my taillight, and the video doesn't even show that. And the funny thing is, he allowed it to keep running for like about a minute, maybe 40 seconds to a minute afterwards. And I'm thinking to myself, are they supposed to come back out? And that's when they're going to discuss it, or what's going on? And that didn't even happen. It's beach life. Thank you for both your coverage.
Everything she says, you can't. It's not credible. She's not a credible witness.
No, she's gonna get crushed on Tuesday. What do you think? Sure. Let me ask you. What do you think the opening lines are going to be on? To obviously, he's going to say, "Do you want to change your testimony?" Where do you think he goes first, Maz?
Oh, I think it's going to really have to do a lot with the Google search. I think that's going to be one of the. If it's not early, it's going to be very heavily involved. Yeah, it's going to be because I think chronologically that after the waterfall and all that, and they go back to the house. That all we know, right? But the Google search at 227. What prompted you to do that? And she'll give the whole basketball excuse and all that. But we know that she was Google searching that. You just can't change that data around. I mean, if you search NBA.com or NFL.com and Google at 9:23 p.m. right now, and go back and leave the window open and research it again at 12:23, it's
Yeah.
still the same search. It's, you're looking for Nuggets or Celtics results. It's just that's what that's what you've done. So you can't get around that. And I think that's going to probably be one of their first approaches. And then I think they'll probably start to dissect at some point the whole, just like the portion you were talking about. You gave testimony on Friday that you were here, here, and there, and Karen said this, this, and that. But at this particular video, as you can see, so forth and so on. And I think that her movements and her Apple Health data and all that being obviously active, and he had her pulse rating on her Apple Watch. That's all going to come back
It's like
to haunt her.
150 at one point, wasn't it? Wasn't it
Yeah,
like, yeah.
right at the time they got to John's body. Yeah, and it could be, probably because at that point it was showtime for her more than anything, to really get going there. So, those are my thoughts. I think she'll, I think it's going to be a real tough day for her. And I'll say this: I don't envy her position at all. And I'll just say again, I think that these people are just better off in retrospect. Why make yourself an accomplice? If someone had inadvertently hit him and killed him in
Yeah.
a scuffle, why, as a mass amount of people, take all of this onto your own shoulders and put yourself at risk to now have to cover something up and, testify to that and potentially perjure yourself and then risk liability yourself instead of just telling the truth outright. And that's why I think, I had the thought last night about Malcolm from Jurassic Park. They were so preoccupied with whether they could cover it up that they did not stop to think if they should cover it up,
Right.
because none of them really had any liability. I mean, if say so and so got in a fight with him and they pummeled him and they
Right.
happened to kill him. Well, whatever the charges would have been it would have been, in my case, involuntary, I'm guessing, just because there was no, I guess it is an offense, Brian. But it wouldn't be premeditated, at least I'd say. So it would possibly just be incidental. And then we met the brawl and then we fought. And then, you're dealing with something like that. Now you're dealing with, well, all these people were in on it. And then you get a state police officer and you got a DA's office and people think that there's a judge that might. Now, all of a sudden you got all these people, involved in this thing, when if they had just outright just said, hey, look, this idiot over here got in a brawl with them. They got a little too crazy. They were drunk. They were intoxicated, and they punched him in the face and all this stuff. And then he ended up hitting his head. And that would have, for them, that would have been a much better situation.
Well,
to
it would
deal
have
with.
probably been worked out to an accident.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't be in this position. And what happens is you get many cooks. You get too many cooks in the kitchen, and you can't keep your story straight. That's what's happening now.
There were 54 calls to the Canton Police Department from Officer John O'Keefe. Valid Officer John O'Keefe. Valid information. When you tell, there's a unwritten rule. Well, there's a law. I don't know if it's written down, but what's knowledge of one is knowledge of all. So what's knowledge of one police officer is knowledge of all police officers. So it's you're allowed to gossip and be allowed to be firsthand information, not secondhand information. So if we're all police officers, me, you, and Maz, right? And I say, listen, Colin did it. I said that, right? Now, and I'm going to tell you that he did it. It was an accident. And they put him outside. Well, now you know exactly what I said, and you don't need to interview Colin because now you have it's the same information. So when John calls the police station and says, hey, this is happening, Canton Police Department, 54 times. And then someone that's connected to the police department invites him over his house once, and this happens in Canton, the same place he was complaining about, the same place he called about 54 times. There's a problem. There's a serious problem when he's calling 54 times. He's a cop. He puts up with a lot of shit already. He knows. How much do you think he let slide by? I guarantee it was more than 54 times. But he had enough to say, hey, enough. 54 times called, said, you got to deal with this, and they didn't. Or did they?
Yeah. Well, maybe they did.
There you go. And if that's the case, that's on a whole nother level of evil.
Yeah.
Because that means is all that whole night was planned out, including the waterfall.
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse.
Oh,
No, you're right.
It was meditated for sure. Exactly right. And
54 calls to the Canton Police Department.
Jeez.
So crazy. So what first question to Jen wouldn't be the 227. It'd be the relationship she has to the Canton Police Department.
Well,
I mean,
And
I would go deep, and I mean deep into the relationship she has amongst the Canton Police Department, because that's messed up.
well, I'm going to tell you too. I think Alan Jackson's going to dig into this loving relationship that she had with John too, in the fact of, if you loved him so much and you were his friend, why didn't you do more? You know,
Loved
you
him
know,
how?
right. That's what I mean. Getting into all those details. Before we go further, I just want to recognize this. Kirsten, thank you for the 10. She says, when Jen is describing Karen screaming, she replicates Karen's scream of Jen, Jen. But when she says Karen is screaming, I hit him, she says it in her normal voice. No one has pointed that out yet. That's a good point.
Great point.
That's a really great point. Yeah, I like that. And I think we had another super. Go ahead, Maz.
Yeah, I got a 9:30 cutoff. I got to jump elsewhere
problem.
for another comment. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'll
listen,
just say,
Mazza,
yeah, go ahead.
love
Tom.
you.
Love you guys.
No, you're the best.
Excellent. Take care, guys. Have a great night and free Karen Reed. All right,
Yeah,
good gentlemen. Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
all. Good night.
Shu checking in, 499 says Colin Albert lied on the stand about being in a fight. I have family in Canton who stood by that. What is the recourse on perjury? Interesting.
You have to come first. You have to come forward, and
You
has
gotta
to be
come forward.
first-hand information.
And I, yep.
And
I would go ahead.
You have to talk to Karen's legal
I
team.
would contact Karen's defense team, and there are multiple ways to do that. Just do a Google search. You can find David Yannetti, and if you have any firsthand information, I don't want you telling me. I don't want you telling Tom. I don't want to see it in an email.
Nope.
I want you to go directly to Karen Reed's defense team. That's the smartest thing to do if you have any information or proof that that really happened. Do not get yourself involved in hearsay stuff. But if you have actual proof, documentation, photos, video, whatever it may be, you need to call Karen, get in touch with Karen Reed's defense team.
Yeah. It pretty much has to be like
part
you.
of any of that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it can't be secondhand, or someone who knows someone, or a friend said, no. It's got to be like you got beat up or your kid got beat up. Other than that,
you got to have hard proof. You're not going to go just hearsay because they're going to go, sorry, no offense, but sorry.
So how come they haven't looked at that angle?
The 54 calls?
The 54 calls, and you have the people that have the means to do it.
Maybe they have. Maybe Karen's defense team will bring that up. I think there's a lot of multiple angles. I think they've brought up the fighting by Colin Albert. I think that they've shown, they showed the videos of, I think there's the thing that I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to kind of pin down. I think everybody has their person who they think did it. And I'm trying to figure out, does Karen's team know who did this? Because what I've seen so far, and this is just my analysis, is they brought up Colin fighting. Alan Jackson pressed him on that, got the truth out of that. They showed the video of Brian Albert and Brian Higgins doing that grab ass fighting inside the bar. So then you have that angle. So I don't know, but I think they're trying to say that these three people are probably involved in what happened. I'm not sure if they definitively know what person it is. They may, and they just haven't shown us yet, but definitively they've shown those three people so far. That's where it is. One of my theories that I've kicked around, and it kind of went, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I could be wrong. And then probably multiple people will not agree with me. But I thought it was interesting that, was it Yannetti or Jackson that had it when they showed the video of Higgins and Brian Albert
in the bar? Yep.
Was that, I don't know if it was Jackson or Yannetti doing the cross on that. But anyway, I thought, well, could this be the possibility? John gets inside the house. They're all drunk. Brian Albert and Brian Higgins start playing this grab ass game, and John doesn't want any part of it. And they're like, come on, let's just come on. And they're down in the basement. And John's like, hey, no, I don't want this. He maybe pushes one of them and the fight breaks out. That could be a possibility. I don't know. Or this could be just all premeditated. I mean, I don't know. But that was one of the theories that I came up with. And I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting that they're playing that video over and over again and showing that kind of that fighting, that play fighting.
Yeah. See, my theory, I just keep, I feel bad for Nick Rocco. I do, because I'll call him up and I'll say, Nick, this is how it happened, blah, 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 blah. And he'll come back and say, no, because of blah blah blah. And it's been going on for 2 years. It's like as
Right.
long as it's from day one. It's been I'll call him up, Nick. I got it. And the only thing that I've been able to come up with that actually works, and I don't know if it's okay to say it, but
Mhm.
John never been to that house before.
Mhm.
Never been in it.
Mhm.
And there are 2 doors. So he doesn't go in the garage door. He
Mhm.
goes in the main door because
Yep.
that's the door you would go in if
Right.
you were going to someone's house for the very first time. You go in
Right.
the main door,
Right.
and the door may have been open. So he walks into the foyer, right? And right in front of you are stairs that go up.
Mhm.
And if they were up there hanging out, kids, and you hear music and you go into an after party, right? And
Mhm.
you walk in the foyer and you hear the music from upstairs, right? You're
Mhm.
going to walk in and go up.
Mhm.
And if someone is up there and then they get into a fight and then they fight their way down the stairs, and then by the time they get to like the landing, when you walk in, I believe people would have come from the living room area because it was
Mhm.
all open, and they came and they shut the front door so that he couldn't get back out. And I think they may have helped that fight along there where it be 2 against 1, and then the dog jumps in, and then they bum rush everybody down the cellar so it's not a mess in the foyer.
Mhm.
And that was it. That cellar was that was it.
So Nick says, I believe Higgins was holding the dog back while Colin and Brian fought John. Fight got so bad he had let go of Chloe to break up the fight, and hence that's how John got attacked, and that's how we have the injuries to John's the dog bites to John's arm.
And
That's
again,
makes a lot of sense.
John
Nick.
had a broken hand. Don't forget, he fought. He went down swinging. That boy, he fought. That he did not give up.
Nope.
He was fighting. And I see that. I see his hand. I see his hand. He's got a boxer fracture. He fought. He was fighting. Who else fights? Does Karen Reed fight? Let's time out here. Does Karen Reed box? Right?
Right.
Does is she gonna let John hit her hands to practice fight, and he's gonna break his hand that way?
Right.
Was she gonna punch him?
Well, he must have slipped on ice.
He's got a boxer's fracture.
He slipped on ice.
He's got a bloody nose. He's got black eyes. From what? What
Yeah.
happens, bro? What happens when that happens? You get in a fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
It looked
taillight,
like he went 10 rounds with Tyson.
It's over. The taillight is
I
the
just,
stupidest thing in the world.
I just want to know what happened. I just want to know what happened to John in that house. And I know that we'll never get the actual truth. We might get close to what happened, but we're never going to hear the full story of the truth. And that's sad. And it's sad for the O'Keefes. It's sad for Karen. And it's sad for John. You know, it's.
I think we know the
me.
truth.
I always just say, like, what? Like, I just want to know what happened. Just let us know what happened. You know, just tell us. We just want to know.
We know Karen didn't do that. So by
Right.
power of deduction, right? We know Karen didn't do that. So we're focusing on right now on what we can do for Karen, because that's what we can do, right? We can't do anything about bringing them back, but we can focus on making sure Karen gets out. And I believe Karen's a great steward, and she's still carrying John's spirit on. So I believe by helping Karen, we're helping John, right?
Isn't it crazy that during all of the witness testimonies, right? What have we heard that almost interrupts every single time they start on that stand?
You mean the sirens coming by that you can't hear nothing?
Sirens.
Except when they go to 34, they go off.
That's John. I'm telling you.
Yep.
That's John.
Mm-hmm.
Massacre says we will never know the 100% truth unless it comes from the horse's mouth. I agree.
Yeah, he's right. Right on the money.
I agree.
Yep.
All right, we're at 2 hours. I've taken 2 hours of Tom's time. Tom, I appreciate you.
Listen, I'm here for you and the people. I mean,
I don't want to end.
This is nothing. This is lightweight. Come on, man. 2 hours. That's all you got.
I don't want to end, but 2 hours usually is a nice stop on a
it's
show.
good cut off. No doubt.
And it's Sunday night, and everybody has work tomorrow. There's no trial tomorrow, so I would encourage you all to do this. If you have time, go back, watch some of the videos on Tom's channel, watch some of the videos that I've done on my channel. Check out all the social medias and the other creators that we've mentioned here. Go check out their respective channels. I try to push out the community as much as I can. You know, I understand that we're all stewards of our own channel, but I try to get everybody involved. And you got to check out the King. If you're new to this case, I urge every single person to go over to Turtle Boy's channel, Aiden Carney, on YouTube, and watch the video Framed. That will catch you up in what? It's a 35-minute video, 40-minute video. Take and watch that. It is worth it, and it will tell you everything that went on, and it will explain everything that's been going on in this case for the past 3 weeks. So go watch Framed on Turtle Boy's channel. Oh, my voice cracked. Oh, that's my radio voice. But go watch Framed. And again, if this is your first time over here and you're enjoying these types of conversations, please hit the subscribe button. Go subscribe over to TomCPU. The link was earlier in the chat. You can go over and do that. Can someone in the mods give me a total? What did we get a total? 536 total. 536 total. We're going to kick back 25% of that to the Reed Fund. That's 134. We'll go 135. I will post the donation immediately after the stream. Well, just give me a couple minutes, but I will get the receipt up on my Facebook page and my YouTube community page for transparency. And then I always leave the link there. You can go actually check the physical donation itself, and it will say LTL chat raiser, and it will have the date 5/19/24, and we'll put 135 up there for Karen Reed's Defense Fund. Tom, any parting words?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Go ahead.
I need to thank everyone that's here. Because again, the people are why we do this. So, you know, you guys are, I don't want to say the steering wheel, but you guys kind of direct us on where we are and what we do. And with that being said, this is a good time to do some maintenance. Go back to your YouTube and look and make sure that you're subscribed to all these people, and give them a like and give them a thumbs up, because that helps that helps our channel a lot. And believe it or not, the little thumbs up that you give us, it helps the algorithm for other people to see it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
you know, this should be tomorrow. We got a free day tomorrow, so do some maintenance on your like electronic stuff. Change your password if you have to. I have an Instagram. I just started Instagram, TomCPU. I have YouTube. Brian's got the same. Make sure you subscribe to all those things for all these different people that are out there. I mean, and I don't want to start mentioning them because there are so many wonderful people.
You'll find them. They'll come up in your algorithm.
So, but just make sure that, you know, even though you see us, make sure you subscribe. That's a big thing. And YouTube sells us 40% sometimes is not subscribed, and that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But no, I'm glad of what you do, Brian. You do so much. You do so much for Karen, and you do so much for the movement. That, I mean, this is a good thing. But at the same time, right? It's, you know, it's the reason's horrible, but it's the outcome and what we're all creating as a community is so good. But them prosecuting her over nothing is so awful. So I guess out of good comes bad, or I mean, out of bad comes good, right? Karen says the light's going to shine, the best disinfectant. I mean, I think the light's shining on all of us. So we're all kind of blessed to be here together to share it, and we're all got a front row seat. But you have to hit the thumbs up and subscribe, or you're going to be in the back row. I
couldn't said it better. I'm gonna leave it at that. So thank you all so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting all of us as the creators in this free Karen Reed movement. And again, you know, kudos goes to Aiden Turtleboy Carney. If it was not for him, you know, we wouldn't be here in kind of embracing this community. You know what's great about him, I have to say as well, he's all embraced us as well and said, go with it, because the more information we can get out there and stick together and keep pushing this out there. I mean, we've done such a great job. This is worldwide now. This movement is worldwide. People from all around the world
together to get this, Brian.
Karen Reed.
They took Aiden away from us, and look what happened. We all stepped up, filled the vacancy, and we kept going. And then he come back out, and we all went back to our own spots. And we're bigger now than we were before they did it.
Yep. And go over and check out the Justice page on Facebook, the Justice for John O'Keefe page. If you're not in there, 36 or 37,000 members strong. Let's get everybody in there.
Yep.
You got to get in there. So, all right, Tommy, let's head out. Let's have a good Sunday night. Everybody
Thanks
have
for
a
the
good
invite,
Sunday
Brian.
night.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. I love having you over here because, you know,
It's
my
fun.
view is this. I'm a street guy. I just kind of tell it like it is. You know, I'm not, I see things for what they are, and that's what you're going to get here. I'm loud, I'm bold, I'm brash, I scream, I yell. That's what I do. And there's people that have, you know, the comedian side of them. That's what they do on their channel. There's someone that just gives the facts, you know, like an attorney's take on it. But here you're going to get kind of the street. So, and, you know, I feel good about that I can give some, just break it down and say, this is how I see it. And maybe you do see it this way and maybe you don't, but over 20,000 people agree with me. So that's why they're here.
Congratulations again on that.
Thank
That's
you,
a
bro.
huge accomplishment, bud. Huge.
Get you to 10,000. So, all right, guys, everybody and ladies, everybody have a wonderful night. I will be back soon. I won't be able to do the trial on Tuesday, unfortunately, but I'm going to be working, but I will do a recap. And you know what I might do? I might not try to listen on Tuesday, and I'll organically watch it with all of you on Tuesday. The cross of
I wouldn't be able to. I don't know, man. If I was on a deserted island, I'd have to find the radio.
I'm going to try my best. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Happy Sunday. Be well. We'll see everybody back on Tuesday. Good night.
Take the changes, set the trap, line of a media time to look down. They try to control us with their lies and their schemes, but I'm a rise above, fulfill my wildest dreams. The beats be pain, the rhymes be tight, trap rap flowing through the darkest night. But don't mistake me for the sellouts on the screen. I'm saying truth, we can question what you say.